The UK got it right, which you would assume that the UK just would not get something like this right. Welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic. So a senator went to El Salvador to bring back the Kilmar Abrego Garcia MS-13 gang member that they're claiming was a deported father from Maryland. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
I'm here at the airport. I'm about to board my flight for San Salvador. The goal of this mission is to let the Trump administration, to let the government of El Salvador know that we are going to keep fighting to bring Abrego Garcia home until he returns to his family. I hope to meet with representatives of the government. I hope to have the chance to actually see Kilmar and see what his condition is. But we are going to keep fighting because this is a miscarriage of justice. The Supreme Court has ruled 9-0 that he was illegally taken out of the country and put in a prison in El Salvador. And this is about due process. This is about rule of law. What bullies do is they begin by picking on the most vulnerable. But if we get rid of the rule of law and due process in the United States, it's a short road from there to tyranny.
Yeah, so I just really want you to ask yourself, do you think that the Democrats just hate America and everything America stands for? I mean, what is this guy doing? Everything the Democrats are doing these days, especially this, I mean, this has got to be probably the worst thing, at least one of the top 3 worst things the Democrats are doing, but everything they do is a take 10 steps back type thing. You know, they're taking absolutely 0 steps forward. Like, when was the last time the Democratic Party actually took a step forward, right? You know, you take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. They're taking 0 steps forward and 10 steps back every time they do something. And this is just kind of the icing on the cake. The guy is actually traveling to El Salvador just in some sort of stunt. It's a total stunt just to make himself look righteous and, you know, to just say, we're going after Trump, you know. But yeah, this is just sickening that the guy would actually go there. And of course, he just gets completely shut down immediately. The Bukele guy, he was just like, nah, not gonna happen. He didn't even get a phone call with the deported father, you know. But yeah, the guy's an MS-13 gang member. His wife had to, like, get a restraining order on him because he was abusing his wife, you know. This guy's a terrible person, yet the Democrats, he's some sort of folk hero, and they just can't stop fighting for the guy because they think that Trump mistakenly deported the guy. But yeah, he's an MS-13 gang member, and they want him in our country, folks. The Democrats hate America. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So RFK is claiming that we may have the autism cause within a couple weeks. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
The ASD prevalence rate in 8-year-olds is now 1 in 31. Shocking. There's an extreme risk for boys. Overall, the risk for boys of getting an autism diagnosis in this country is now 1 in 20. And as high in California, which has the best data collection. So it probably also reflects the national trend, 1 in 12.5 boys. This is part of an unrelenting upward trend. The prevalence 2 years ago was 1 in 36. Since the first ADDM report in 1990, which was 1992 births, autism has increased by a factor of 4.8. That's 480%, I believe.
Yeah, so these numbers are just insane. If 1 in 31 kids are getting autism these days, we will cease to have a country in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? If our birth rates and, you know, autism rates are that bad, especially in California, I mean, my God, 1 in 12 boys in California has autism. I mean, you see it around, you know, if you go walking around in society, you go to the mall or whatever, you're going to see multiple kids with autism and it'll be like, whoa, that kid's got autism, that kid's got autism. And I don't remember back in school, back in the day when I'm in school, you know, the special ed kids being like autistic kids. They were always kids who had some really severe disabilities or mental inefficiencies, whatever you want to say, but they weren't necessarily necessarily autistic kids, you know, that like you see all the time today. It's just crazy that this actually became a thing and autism became this bad. But at least we have somebody like RFK who's actually trying to get to the bottom of it, you know. But mark my words, there will be parents of autistic kids out there who are claiming that you can't say what the cause is with, it's just, you can't do that, it's not okay, you know. We love our kids and you just can't say it. Trust me, there will be those parents. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So the UK finally got one right. Apparently the UK knows what a woman is. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
We were in a really difficult place in Scotland then. We thought we were going to see rights for women rolled back, and today the judges have said what we always believed to be the case, that women are protected by their biological sex, that sex is real, and that women can now feel safe that services and spaces designated for women are for women, and we are enormously grateful to the Supreme Court for this ruling.
Yeah, I mean, the UK, we got to acknowledge they've been getting a lot of things wrong lately, especially with their immigration policy and their border. You know, they're just letting all these Muslims and Pakistanis in, and it's, you know, not a very good look in the UK right now. But at least they got this one right. You know, they were at least able to say, oh, yep, a woman is a female biological, just a biological female. You know, it's at least they're willing to say that. So it kind of seems like they're just giving the women one last, you know, win before they go full Sharia law over there and they just completely strip every woman of pretty much every right that they have. But I mean, good on the UK. You know, just let me know if you're sick and tired of this whole trans mumbo jumbo and having to pretend like this is actually a real thing. It's just a total fad. Remember, folks, it's a fad, it's a trend. It's like Jinko jeans in the 90s. It's gonna go away sooner or later. But remember, the people who buy into it and go full trans and claim that they're a woman and they get all the surgeries, they can't take their Jinko jeans off, you know. They're gonna be stuck wearing Jinko jeans forever, folks. So just hang tight, this will blow over. At least the UK got it right, which you would assume that the UK just would not get something like this right. But hey, and good on them. All right, let's get to the next topic. So Star Wars actress Kelly Marie Tran, who played the role of Rose Tico in The Last Jedi, apparently thinks that, you know, Star Wars fan racism is just a microcosm of everything going on in the world today, right? But see, this is just the Hollywood playbook, folks. First of all, of course, she has come out as queer, so, you know, she's got to be on the righteous side of Hollywood. They all are, right? But yeah, if in Hollywood, if you haven't experienced racism in, you know, after playing a role, then basically you're not even allowed in the club, right? You know, these people, if you want to keep getting movies, you got to go out there, you got to tell people how, yeah, the fans are racist, and, you know, I'm queer and they just can't handle having a queer in the role of blah, blah, blah. I didn't see the movie, so go ahead, let me know if this character was good or if this character just sucked and that's why she didn't get any love from the fans. But yeah, anytime it's not like the white guy in the leading role, but the white guys in the leading roles are forced to talk about how they have white privilege. So, you know, that's the thing for the white people. But, you know, a lesbian Asian woman, her role in Hollywood is to tell everybody how much racism she's encountered, you know, because that's just the way it is in Hollywood, you know. But yeah, let me know if this was a terrible role or this character was actually pretty good, but frankly, I don't know. It's just the Hollywood playbook. Everything is trans. Everybody's going trans. And Yeah, I mean, we've seen it plenty of times before. We're going to see it plenty of times again. They just love to throw their fans under the bus and just call them racist just so they can get the next role, the next role. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.